Hey everyone, welcome to another an episode of Watch Soup. Man, we're on a streak, Sanjay. We've been doing this for a few months now, right? At least.
Yeah, February, I
Feels
think. It was
oh,
Super
February.
Bowl or something, since Super Bowl.
That's right. That's right. Like
Yeah.
we were talking about doing it, and then Super Bowl Sunday, we're like, okay, well, we can't do it on Super Bowl Sunday, and then so we did it soon after that or something like that, right? Or maybe did we do it on Super Bowl Sunday?
No, I don't think we
No,
did.
no. Okay.
There was Valentine's Day.
Right,
Yes,
right. And I did
yeah,
that with Mrs. Legs.
yeah,
And so then
the week
we must have
after.
started like in mid February. So that's like it's 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
time's flying.
Time is flying, man. So I'm Bobby Legs and my co-host here's the terror of Toronto, the oligarch of Ontario, the Canadian kid, Sanjay from the Engineer Wannabe underscore channel, energy Wannabe channel.
Yes,
Um, what do you got on wrist today, man?
I have the Grand Seiko SJE083, my evening watch.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
yeah. I'm
Uh,
also known as the right-hand man of the King of Canada.
that's you are.
Yeah.
You are you're the hand of the king.
Yes.
If you if anybody watches uh what's that show? We're watching it right now. Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I am wearing my Tudor Black Bay 58
nice.
on this Digi camo rubber strap. Um, hey man, congratulations! You got a really big shout out
Yeah, I did.
recently.
Yeah.
Can you
Woke up
tell us a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, I woke up in the morning, was a little groggy, saw that Ajay had sent it in our Discord group. He had
Yeah,
sent a message saying, "How much did I pay Adrian from Bark and Jack?" And I was like, "What's he talking about?" And there was a video, and yeah, apparently not apparently, he had um, shouted me out for making that Oris Caliber 400 video. So that was really, really nice of him. He
yeah.
didn't have to do that. So
No,
yeah, it
that's
was,
great, man.
yeah.
I mean, he's got like over 100,000 viewers. So, and that was a giveaway. Wasn't it a giveaway announcement video? Like he's giving away an Oris or something like that? I saw in the title, or no?
I did see that on the title, but I must have missed it during the video because
Yeah, yeah. Because I fast forwarded to the part where he was talking about the movement, and that's where I knew you were going to come in. So I
yeah,
didn't see like the beginning or the end of the video. I just wanted, I was driving, I was getting the kids, and I wanted to see it real quick for myself.
yeah,
But if that is a giveaway or an announcement to a giveaway, man, there's a lot of people that are going to see the
yeah,
video and they're going to hear your name, man. That's awesome, man. Good for you, man.
yeah.
Good for
Thank
you.
you. I don't deserve it, but that's
Of
really
course you do. Stop it. Would you stop? You absolutely deserve it, man. For sure.
no.
Um,
Yeah, I would say you deserve it way more. Your videos are
what are you talking about?
you
What are
put
you
way more
talking?
effort into your
No,
videos, and
yeah. Dude, you so what you did in your video was very, very important, right? And it was a thing that a lot of people did not know about this movement, this quirk, and you went through it all, right? You had this whole experience,
yeah,
and so you put your time into that, man, whether you realize it or not. That is all you. You deserve a shout out. You deserve many shout outs for that, man.
oh,
So
thanks, man. That's really kind of you to say. Uh, But we should shout out Clayton because he had me on the Watchdog podcast too.
oh
That was a lot of
yes.
fun.
So yeah. So I've been on the Watchdog podcast too a couple times. A
Yeah,
lot of fun doing that with Clayton. Great conversations. Me and Clayton, we're buds, and I'm glad to see that you were on it. I will listen it in while I'm working this week into the podcast. That's what I usually typically do. I listen to Clayton's podcast when I'm working. So I look forward to hearing you on there. Are you guys talking Grand Seiko? I imagine.
for like the last 30 minutes,
Yeah.
we go off on so many tangents. It was a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
But the intention was to talk about Grand Seiko.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the conversation with Clean, it just happens. Everything happens so organically. Like it does go
Yeah,
into different. Like we when we first talked, we were talking about like heavy metal, and watches, and then we spoke for like the podcast was like, I think it was like over an hour and
Yeah.
10 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
And then we did German watches with Damasco, and that went pretty long too.
Yeah.
So but it happened so, it's so natural, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So he's really good at what he does, no doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get some shout outs to some people on the chat. And Megan is first. She was first pretty early. JCB was second. Bill K's on here. Thanks. How you doing, Bill K? Average Joe Watch Reviews. What's up, Joe? How you doing? Thanks for joining us tonight. Justin's here. Chaz is here. What's up, Chaz? Amin is here. Joe, Philly Watch fan, is here. Hey, Peter, how are you? Riss Ross, what's up? The Rancher is here. Wilson, come on, StreamYard. There we go. Wilson's here. Watch Medicine's here. Bobby, how you doing? And it just skipped all the way to the end for me. Sorry, guys. I just have to scroll back. Sandra, you know what I'm going through right now, right? This has been happening, with StreamYard, maybe in the last month or so. Like I've noticed it's been doing this with the chat.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that in the beginning when I started using it. Dib is here. Keith E is here. See, Craig is here. What's up, Craig? AZ Clayton. AZ Clayton. AZ Clayton. There he is. Is here. Sam is here all the way in Australia. Hi, Sam. Good morning to you. IDGuy is here. Thank you for coming along. We'll be talking one of your videos today. Caliber YQG is also here. Thank you, sir, for coming by. Hey, James, what's going on? Mezzanine. I think I've never seen Mezzanine here before. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate.
He's been on the Saturday evenings with
Oh,
me.
nice.
Yeah.
Kelvin's here. How you doing, Kelvin? Do new straps break a watch fast? Look, man.
No.
Look, I got to draw a line here, Ahmed. Okay. I'm not getting any. I'm trying not to buy any new watches for the rest of the year. I included knives in that, and I included watches in for the channel. Man, no, watches do not break the fast. I mean, straps do not break the fast. Sorry.
I agree.
Thank you. BTS here. The Canadian kid agrees with me. The hand of the king. Kevin S, what's up? Tommaso needs to shout out Bobby Legs for his thumbnails. I have just as much fun doing thumbnails as I do the videos, man. I just get an idea in my head and I just giggle. I'm giggling as I'm photoshopping the whole time. Really, seriously, like if I could take a video of myself making a thumbnail, like I'm just like cracking up.
Oh, I can picture it.
Mr. Cassio's here. Okay. Hey, man. Adolf Hipster Luxury. What's up? Jeffrey's here. What's up, man? How you doing? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Okay. Well, so let's jump in. Nothing going on with comments from last week, Sanjay, but let's jump into a couple of reviews that you want to talk about today. So please.
Yeah.
You're up.
I was thinking we should feature TGV on the review section for once, and this week he did something really cool. I think is cool. The King Seiko, the SJE083. So he did his usual review, which I tend to enjoy, and I did notice his 100% fully unbiased review disclaimer at the front, which I believe. I believe that review was unbiased, but it's the shout outs that I'm concerned about, because he mentions Quali at the beginning, or no, Fortis, the Fortis YouTube channel, and Anyway, that's a whole other thing. But the review was really interesting. Um, he went into the history of Seiko, way into the history. That's a good one, Chaz. And you know what? I enjoyed the video. I think that watch is kind of underrated, a little overpriced, but it's definitely on high up on the wish list for me. If
Mm,
I can get it at maybe 25 off, that's
yeah.
kind of my limit. But what do you think of the review on the watch?
So a friend of mine had, when I was thinking Grand Seiko, had I was messaging back and forth, and he suggested have you taken a look at the King Seiko release. And what's the price on that? Is it just over 2,000, or is it
Oh,
just over
no,
three?
it's more than that. Canadian, it's 44.50, I think.
Okay. Okay.
So like $5 there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So like $5 American. No, yeah, you're right. So it's over, definitely over three.
Yeah,
And it has a what, a 6R, what's the movement, 6R35? It's
six
not a
six
6R35.
L six
Six
L
L, a
thirty
6L
five.
movement.
Yeah,
I like the look. I like the finishing. The lugs look a little weird to me, right?
yeah.
And they're wide. Well, they're 22. That watch feels like it could go. It should be more like 20.
It's
Um,
20.
oh,
Lug width is 20. Yeah,
the lug width, but there's something then about the lugs. Are they like flatter or some?
they're
They're just weirdly shaped, right?
they're
Um,
boxy. They're
they're
like,
boxy, yeah.
yeah, rectangular. Like,
And so they look bigger. They look wider than they are, right?
yeah,
And like I don't know what the 6L movement looks like, but I feel like I'd want to see an exhibition case back on that watch, and maybe the 6L movement is not a pretty movement.
it's not.
Yeah. Um, so it was. I'm a little bit bummed out by the shape of the lugs, and that there is no see-through case back with that watch. Other than that, I'm sure the finishing. I mean, the finishing looks great. Uh, you know, I think it's okay. I think it's okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I like Grand Seiko, some of the Grand Seiko watches a whole lot more than King Seiko, but I appreciate the history, and in regards to TGV's video and review, I appreciate the whole historical background that he goes into. I like that he does tell a story very well. I mean, he is who he is.
hmm,
But other than that, I thought it was a good, a pretty decent review.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, Next up, so I only picked two this week, but next up was the review of the Must the Cartier
Hmm.
extra large tank, extra large from You're Terrific. Again, another really excellent video from You're Terrific. Really funny, um, really entertaining, and the review of the watch was another big surprise. I was surprised at the price of it. So I feel like I'm learning a lot with a lot of these reviews. But the price seemed really affordable for an
Hmm.
automatic Cartier tank that also has a guilloche dial, um, and I was intrigued. Except the size. The only way you can get an automatic in the Must series is with the extra large,
Yeah.
and this one would be far too large for my wrist.
Right.
But another great video from You're Terrific. You guys should
Hmm.
check it out.
Hmm.
Did you have any thoughts on that
Yeah.
product?
I mean, I think Uh, I think the watch is okay, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I like if I'm in the market for this watch, I would definitely go with a bigger size just because it has the guilloche and the automatic movement, right? The
yeah,
mechanical movement in there. Um, so, but having said that, um, it's a pretty big watch. I
it is.
mean, and he has a 7-inch wrist, and it looked like it was like taking up every inch of that, every millimeter of that, and so, man, I there's so many other Cartiers that I think I would rather go with. I mean, the
Yeah,
price point's really really nice on this one. I would have to say, for what it offers, it's just I'm just not crazy about the size and shape and how the odd size lug width, right? So it's like
right.
22 and a half, he was saying,
Yeah,
ish. And then the way that strap kind of like it felt like it was like really, really thick up top. And then, it did taper down a little bit. It just looked a little too strange to me. Um, I do dig it. but I just wouldn't buy it because of that size. If it was
Yeah.
slightly smaller, I'd think about it. You know, if I wanted to go Cartier, right? At that
Hmm.
price point, there's a whole lot of other watches I think I'd rather go with.
Right.
But with Cartier, if I was thinking a Cartier, that's and that's my price point. That's not a bad offering, I don't think.
Hmm. Yeah. But you're kind of interested in this Santos, right?
I'm kind of, yeah. So if I'm gonna go Cartier, I'm gonna go Santos, right?
Yeah.
And then if I don't go Santos, I'd go get an old Roadster. I like
Right.
those. And then if I go Roadster, if I can't do that, or if that doesn't tickle my fancy, I'd go with the drive Cartier de Drive or whatever
Oh
that
yeah.
one is
Yeah.
before I would go this one. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So this is like fourth on the list, right? I mean, no, I'd go like straight up Tank before this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
What what do you think of the ball on bleu, or however you say that?
I think it looks cool. I think it's like more of a feminine watch though.
Right. Yeah.
So but I mean it's a beautiful watch too. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
Um I mean I dig Cartier stuff. I really do. It all started from a couple of buddies of mine who worked for Richemont, then worked on Cartier, and I never even thought I thought Cartier was all just fashion and a woman's brand, but they really explained to me like the significance of Cartier and some of their models. And my one friend had a starts with a P,
Pasha.
Pasha, yeah, a
Yeah.
Pasha, but it was like a manly looking Pasha, right? I mean, it was just like a tough looking watch, and I was like,
Right.
oh, that's really interesting too. So I was on a Pasha kick for like a really long time, like back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just have great respect for that for Cartier, um, and would love to add one in my collection one day for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
Uh,
But yeah,
would,
that's
would, which one would you go? Rhodes? I mean,
Santos.
Santos.
Yeah, I would like to have a Santos at some point.
Yeah.
Um, in our Discord group, someone mentioned how it's so thin that it's kind of spoiling other watches for them,
Oh wow.
and I kind of went through that with the Railmaster
Yeah.
and my Grand Seiko GMT. So I don't know if I want to put my other watches at risk with that Santos medium because it's 8.9 millimeters thick,
Yeah.
which is really thin. It will probably be the thinnest watch I've ever owned. That's not a quartz. So yeah, I really want one, but I don't know if I want to do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just saying, I want a Cartier Crash, but they are too pricey. Um,
What
in December, does Santos Claus come to town? I don't know. I don't know.
only in Brazil.
Yeah, yeah, Santos Claus. I'm still holding out that one day me and Mrs. Legs get his and hers Santos. So I think that's
Yeah.
that's the whole thing that I'm going for here. Clayton, go with Santos for the watch experience. Some say it's just as good as a Vacheron. LOL.
No idea what
Uh,
you're talking about.
well, I think maybe somebody had mentioned that or something like that. Become
Yeah.
secure in your manhood. Wear the shit out of those dainty pieces. Go full eccentric with a Pasha Chrono. Yeah, that is full eccentric. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still. I mean, I would love. Yeah, I would love to go full eccentric, but I mean, I like the Santos too much. um, his and her Santo get a pair for okay. Nefarian's talking to some other people. Young XLNC, cheers everybody. Hope you are well. Thank you for joining us. Um, Megan saying Cartier is always going to be classic, especially the Paris boutique editions if you're buying vintage. Excellent. Okay.
Hmm.
I agree. Bobby, the Santos goes great with the riding mower. I don't have a riding mower. I don't have a riding mower yet. One day I will. In a few years, I think I would get a riding mower. I have one of these weed whackers now that goes over your strap, and you have like two handles. It's like real deal. I
Wow.
think the Santos would look really good on that for
Two
sure.
tone.
Two-tone Santos, right? Bourbon, wear Cartier with frilly French cuffs and a ruffled shirt. Now I cannot think of Prince. Now I can't not think of Prince. Yeah,
And an
yeah.
ascot.
What was that?
And an ascot.
And an ascot. Yeah, yeah. And then maybe a little raspberry beret in the background. A little red Corvette. Hey, Chris. Thanks for joining us, man. What's up? How you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Okay, so let's get into the meat. Hey, what are you drinking there? What do you got there?
Dr. Pepper.
Either pepper. That's like a chalice. Like
In my
let me get this.
chalice.
Let me get this banner off. That's like wow. That's like almost kind of like
Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, or the well, I was gonna say the Grail from the Last Crusade, but that looked a little more rough. But it looked like one of the other fake Grails that you seen the Last Crusade?
No.
Okay. Okay. All
What
right.
is
All right.
that?
It's
Monty
too
Python?
early for movie stuff. It's too early for movie stuff.
Is it Monty Python?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're thinking of the Holy Grail by Monty Python. Did you
Right.
see that?
No.
Okay.
I know there's some sort of rabbit in it. Like a killer rabbit or something.
Yeah. I mean, that is such an obscure thing to bring up from that movie.
Is it?
There's so many other I mean, there's so many other things to bring up from that movie. And that's the one. Okay. All right. All right, moving on. Okay.
Okay.
So the first video, IDGuy 2021 Tudor X Marine Nationale release predictions. I found this video interesting. I'm a Tudor fan. You know, I got my Black Bay 58. You used to own a Black Bay 58, the blue, right?
Yeah.
So did I. If you've owned the Tudor, other Tudors before, so I'm a fan of Tudor. I've been kind of on this, you know, hype train of a new Snowflake, Submariner type release by Tudor. They've been teasing us the last couple of years with this. Not sure if it's going to happen. IDGuy thinks it's going to happen because, well, I mean, he makes some great points why it's going to happen. And I love the fact that, you know, he put a lot of work into this video because he goes through, you know, what kind of, you know, what he thinks it's going to look like. He starts off, and I know I'm going to miss a lot here about the video, Mr. Guy, but I just want to point out some of the highlights that, you know, he takes some of the big popular models for Tudor this year, right? So what's going on? So he says Black Bay, and then a couple other, and then Pelagus, and another model, and he basically his theory in this scenario is that, you know, Tudor is not necessarily going to like reinvent the wheel and build new parts for a watch. Maybe they'll borrow stuff from other lines to create it. And I really liked what he did with the Tudor with the Pelagos version of the new Snowflake release, like how it would look. And you know, he says he bets it's more like it's going to be a Black Bay. If it's anything, it's going to look like more a new Black Bay release. But I like what he did with the Pelagus. It's got the Snowflake dial pretty much already. Maybe do a updated version with, you know, because we know that the Pelagos is a titanium watch. Maybe you do it in titanium. You bring down the size down from a 42 to 40. I think the original Snowflake Submariner was a 36. But you know, it's modern times, right? I mean, you know, do we need, you know, are they going to really do a 36 millimeter Submariner, Snowflake Submariner? I mean, that'd be awesome. That'd be really, really awesome, but probably not in my opinion. And then he goes to decades of Snowflake Submariners or Snowflake like dive watches from the 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80s, I think, or 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. He really likes what the 80s version of it looked like, and so maybe you see a possibility there. I'm just fascinated. I don't know if there's much to debate or talk about in regards to this, other than, like, you know, I look forward to September 1st, and hopefully, you know, Tudor makes a lot of people happy. What did you think, Sanjay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to look forward to anything from Tudor anymore after their last few releases and their, their countdowns. But uh, I guess since they've disappointed a few people, including myself, along the way, maybe it's a chance for a home run this time. So I I mean, I would love to see a Black Bay 58 with square markers, so like the snowflake dial, because
Hmm.
that's kind of the only thing. Because it's almost the perfect watch. For me,
Yeah,
the bracelet doesn't work, but from the dial, the only thing that slightly bugs me is that you got circular indices with the square snowflake hand, and I think if it did have square indices round, it would be perfect. It
yeah.
would be insane. I would shed a tear because it would be so beautiful.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they do that. I'm so used to them not giving what we want, but I
Yeah,
and the other thing is that if it does happen, I'm not going to be able to buy it for like 2 years. So there's going to be lineups, there's going to be
yeah.
wait lists, and it's just going to be, you know, really frustrating. But yeah, other than that, just to comment on the mock-ups that IDGuy did,
Mhm.
those were really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
if especially if they put the Marine Nationale logo
Hmm.
offset on the side, oh, that looks so good. It looks
Yeah,
really, really
I
good.
think I think that would be a little risque. I liked his other mock up when he put it on the back in the case back. That seems like it's
Right.
more likely to
Yeah.
me. That seems like it's more likely going to happen. But I want to go back to, and maybe I was a little harsh about saying, you know, or saying in the past that I've been disappointed with Tudor releases in the last couple of years. The truth is, when I look back at it, I'm disappointed that they don't come out with a Snowflake Submariner. But other than that, they have really given us good releases when you think about it. Like I need to like I needed some time away from the releases to actually think about the chrono that they came out with this year. The Panachroma was a home run. I wasn't I wasn't into that the Black Bay 58925, the silver. Now I think it's a great looking watch, even with the exhibition case back. The gold is still the jury's out for me on the gold one. I'm starting to really dig the bronze. I would have preferred it on a green dial. I kind of like it with a 9 dial. I mean, the brown dial. I like the fact that it has like the 3, 6, and 9 numerals on it.
Mhm.
So and the blue Black 58, I bought it. I liked it. I mean, I know it didn't get a lot of love. I mean, or it was like 50-50. Um, but I give it to Tudor. I think their releases have been pretty good for the most part. They just haven't given us the one thing that we really want the most, and maybe that's obscured my view on whether I've been disappointed or not with Tudor releases. They've actually came out with some good releases in the
Yeah,
last couple
yeah.
of years.
For
So
me personally, I couldn't care less about the 925 silver. I mean, I do like it, but
mhm.
it's neither a hit nor a miss for me. And the fact that they've been kind of doing the countdowns and then releasing something
That's a little
insignificant,
much.
yeah, that's kind
Yeah,
of been
yeah,
the painful part, I
yeah,
guess, because we're all like waiting at the edge of our seats, and then
yeah,
we get let down, and then it
yeah.
happens again with the Black Bay ceramic,
Right.
and
Which is it was a great watch, a great nice
yeah,
release.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
They just shouldn't have done the countdown. It
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
nice
They should
to.
stop doing the countdown unless they know. Well, actually, they're brilliant. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah,
Let's be
it's getting
honest.
the press and everyone's waiting for it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it does work what they're doing. So yeah,
Let's see what the chat says. Chaz is saying, "I hope they don't let us down." Joe saying the ID guy video was outstanding. My all-time favorite ID guy video was another Tudor, the North Flag, one of Joe's favorite watches for sure.
hmm
Um, Caliber saying, looking forward to seeing the release, but yes, not getting expectations high. Yeah, I think man, it's hard not to have high expectations here. It's really,
yeah,
really hard. It's the last couple of years, it's been you know um you had to temper your expectations a little bit because I felt like I got burnt a couple years ago when they put the P01 out, and I thought at that point they were going to release like the Submariner, Tudor Submariner, but they didn't, and I should have learned a lesson there to keep them low. But here, this is hard not to keep them high. Because of a lot of the a lot of the reasons why IDGuy pointed out the history with the French national military. So
But
hey guys,
the
Pete's here. How you doing, Pete?
the release 2 releases ago was supposed to be Marine Nationale as well, right? The what was that countdown about?
Yeah, I don't I think they released, was it a release of the announcement that they were working, that they were doing something? Like, you know what I mean? Like they were just announcing that they were going to be I don't know. I don't know. You're right though. It's confusing.
Yeah,
Um Up Platinum Black Bay is next. That's funny.
yeah,
It's just going to be an average, going to be an engraved case back at the end at the end of the day. I think so too. I think so too.
yeah.
Um, Come on, StreamYard. Joe's, I want them to come out with a Snowflake Submariner, but not call the Submariner. Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Um, I'm gonna start doing countdowns for all my YouTube videos, get the hype up, and then let them down with the video. I'll coin it the Tudor way. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah.
Forbin, do you think Tudor avoids certain designs because they have to ask Big Daddy Rolex for permission? That's a good question. It seems like Rolex has given Tudor a long leash here. Um, I mean, they came out with that Chrono, that Panda Chrono, right?
They did, yeah.
A couple months ago. And although it had the snowflake hands, which Rolex doesn't. I mean, anytime I see a Panda Chrono now, I'm thinking Daytona, right? I mean, I know it's
Mm.
2 registers versus 3. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe some big decisions they have to send it up to and see what Rolex says. But I feel like they've gotten a pretty big leash, a long leash.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Danny said, I saw the BB Chrono at my ID 2 weeks ago. It was sold, but they took it out and showed it to me. Killer watch. It was the black dial. Yeah, man. I think the fast would be over if I saw one in person. I got to be honest with you. AJ is saying it's going to be a BB58 with a Marine Nationale logo. Have more expectations, so you'd never be have more expectations, so you're never disappointed. The crown dictates, and the shield follows. Okay, so that's what IDGuy. That's his opinion on that one. Have low expectations, and you never be disappointed.
Yeah.
Of course,
Higher the expectations, the harder the fall.
that's right. Isn't it the bigger they are, the harder they fall?
Yeah, I know. I just
Okay,
riffed on
that's
it.
it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Watch this. If they come out with a Snowflake Submariner, it would cannibalize sales of the Black Bay if they use a different case. Yeah, yeah, and that's why I don't think you'll see a Black Bay 58 GMT. You know what I mean? Not for a long time anyway, because it would cannibalize the 41, even though the 41's a huge hockey puck.
Mhm.
Sanjay said the Canadian version of that line. Okay, I got there. All right,
Yeah.
I got there. Okay, so moving on. Just one more watch. Seiko's QC is garbage. No more with an asterisk. Sanjay.
Yeah, this was a really surprising video to wake up to yesterday. But I don't blame Jody from Just One More Watch. But just to kind of sum up the video, he starts the video with his serious face on, so he's not smiling. He
Yeah.
says, "Hello and welcome," and goes on to explain what has happened. He got this really nice blue dial sharp edge GMT in for review. Um, it looked like the bezel was off on that guy. It's a fixed bezel, and
Yeah.
it looked like it was put on
Yeah.
off. But actually, the 12 was right in the middle of the two polished mid links, and the 6 were right in the middle
Yeah.
of the bracelet. but it seems the dial was off kilter, and they had put the dial in off kilter, and sold it and shipped it, and yeah, I would be really upset if I saw that myself. But he says he's not buying another Seiko, not buying another high-end Seiko, not reviewing another high-end Seiko on his channel until Seiko gets their QC act together. And you know what? I agree. I was going through my list of Seikos from August 2020, which is where I got started to go really deep into Seiko.
Yeah,
So I've had 12 at least. Just for review, and because they sucked and I sold them on or traded them back to my ED. And yeah, starting with the SPB 149, which is a limited edition blue dial, the bezel felt like a diesel engine starting up, like on half the bezel. So
yeah,
the movements have been bad, running horribly, or bezel's been misaligned. The 12 has been aligned, and the 30 has been off on some watches that I've had.
yeah,
Um, QC has been really, really bad this past year. Like it's got way worse.
yeah,
And you know, I kind of stopped buying Seikos too up until last month, where I got a SPB 213. Um, and the movement's running horribly on that guy. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't disagree with him. I agree with him. I say we should not be rewarding bad behavior by purchasing these watches, giving Seiko a pass. But yeah, did you have any thoughts on this guy?
Yeah, so man, it depends on what mood I am when I think about Seiko QC. It depends if I woke up on the wrong side of the bed or not. I woke up on the right side of the bed today.
Right.
So, having said that though, I've certainly have had issues with the Seiko bezel misalignment. I've never purchased anything over $1,000, right? The Seiko
Yeah.
wise. As he mentioned, he won't do any videos for anything or buy anything over $1,000 in Seiko. So I've had SK axes, and most of them the bezel alignment was off. I've had a couple of monsters, and they were okay. Um, the Blue Mo that I have, I can get it aligned, right? I can get it aligned, you
Yeah.
know. I gotta
Yeah.
kind of like force it, but I'm okay with it. Um, but yeah, I mean, will I spend over $1,000 on a Seiko sports watch diver with a timing bezel and roll the dice that I'm gonna get a nice watch that has past quality control and doesn't have any bezel issues? No, I'm not gonna do that. Um, I think the trick, if you want everything to align on a Seiko watch, and you spend over $1,000, don't buy one with a timing bezel. You know what I mean? Just buy their dressier pieces that don't have timing bezels, and then chances are you're going to be okay. Now, in
Well,
regards to the
yep.
movements, like I've heard, I've never had an issue. I know most of them don't perform, or it has been, people have shown videos and talked about how they don't perform really well on a time grabber. It just depends on where you lay them or whatnot. So it is what it is with that. But what is amazing to me, right? And I know. So you have to buy like a JDM version to get a better chance that everything's going to line up, and that's still not always the case, right?
No.
But and I understand that some of these Seikos are made in Malaysia or whatever. Um, the Japanese, from what my experience with products and companies and people, like the work ethic is impeccable. Their attention to detail is almost second to none. Perfection is what they strive for in every single product, and it's amazing to me that Seiko doesn't seem to follow that, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so like the non JDM Seikos, where a lot of the issues I think also happen, and then they're built somewhere else. Um, I mean, still Seiko management, in Japan should be able to say, hey, listen, get your act together. You work for a Japanese company. And
Hmm.
then Seiko in Japan, not following suit, they just, quality control is still a slight issue there as well. I don't know. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. It's one of the biggest watch brands out there. I know that, things are going to slip through the cracks at times, but this is too much. This is like an epidemic of immense proportions with QC.
Yeah. I feel like they have their heads firmly planted in the sand, and maybe they don't even have a clue that all this is going on. So, um, yeah, it's upsetting.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, Kevin. I mean, look, I still really like Seiko. I love my watch, but it it's not just bashing. It's not being jumping on the bandwagon. I mean, I've had real world experience with many misaligned bezels. Um, and that's just misaligned bezels with Seiko. I
yeah,
still, I swore them off, but I'm still buying them because I think they offer something for everybody at every single price point, which is great. You know.
yeah, and their case finishing is second to none at that price point.
Hmm.
Um, it's just it's just the QC, and I want them to do better. Um, that's just it. It's not
Yeah.
just bashing for bashing's sake. We I honestly just want them to do better.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Yeah. And you
Uh,
you mentioned don't buy one with a timing bezel, but Jody didn't have a timing bezel and the dial was misaligned. So
well, but I mean, okay, so he didn't have a time, but he did have a bezel with some numbers on it, right? So, and then so meaning that there's more room for error there than it
right.
was than if it was no bezel. Do you know what I mean?
Y You know what's concerning though? Now I think if I were to go back and check, like, the pictures of all the Seikos I've taken, how many of them would have had slightly misaligned dials? That would be interesting to see.
Yeah,
Not that
man.
I'm gonna do that to myself, but
Yeah. Look, I expect it with an SKX. I know I'm rolling the dice with the SKX, but if I'm spending
yeah,
over $2,000 for that GMT, I mean, like, that's crazy. That's crazy, man.
yeah.
Chad's saying, how can JO just more watch show for AliExpress and complain about QC from Seiko at the same time? Take skills. Yeah, okay. Pete saying, doing a video follow up on to this. Think he's wrong. Doesn't understand that QC is and seems to be a bit rich coming from a channel that still reviews knockoffs. Okay, but I mean that doesn't mean that he's wrong about his opinion on Seiko, right? Um, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about thinking that he's not wrong about his opinion on Seiko. Seiko, kings of the wabi sabi. Yeah, man. I mean, like, look, so I've been to sushi restaurants that had a sushi chef that was Japanese, and I've been to sushi restaurants with the sushi chef is not Japanese, and there is a big difference. There is. I mean, I love sushi. I don't care where you come from. I mean, if it's good, if it's fresh, it's great. But
Mhm,
it's almost like an art form. You know what I mean? It's almost like they treat it like an art form. The Japanese sushi chefs. So um,
mhm. And you see that with Grand Seiko, I think. You see the fact that they take pride in what they do, and they don't allow a single speck of dust
yeah,
on the dials. I mean, I'm sure some get through, but,
yeah.
um, I personally haven't seen any, so
Kevin and S. I buy all my Seikos in person. Just check the QC for yourself. Yeah, you can do that very well.
yeah.
Jody summed up the reasons why I keep hesitating to buy Seiko. I still keep looking at them though. Yeah, I mean, so do I. I can't quit Seiko. I want to, but it's hard for me. You have to be insane to pay big money for Seiko. I'm starting to think you're right there, BDev. I mean, do what Kevin does and go and take a look at it in person first, right? I mean, you can't just like buy from a website when you're spending big money on Seiko. I guess that's the lesson.
Mhm.
Comparing with the increase of Seiko prices and the huge number of micro brands with better specs for less, I don't see Seiko as relevant as it used to be. I don't know. And that's a good point, but I don't know if I 100% agree. Um, I think Seiko is just as big as and relevant as ever. Um,
Yeah, I'd say so. I Seiko comes with so much heritage and history.
yeah,
I keep saying that, but it's that has a lot of value for me,
yeah,
versus, something a brand that doesn't.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
IDGuy, I think the Seiko critics are quite harsh. QC isn't 100%, but on the upper prospect models, they were very good. Was that GMT? Was that a prospects model?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Sharp Edge is not a Prospects. It's a Presage.
Oh,
Sharp
it's a
Edge is
Presage.
Prospect.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, maybe I'm super unlucky, but because most of the ones I've owned
But
are
I'm super unlucky too, and so is Jody,
yeah,
right? And so is a lot of people that we know.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, something's got to give.
Yeah, I think so. Um, let's see here. Dib, that's what I keep telling everyone. The Presages don't have that many QC issues. Maybe because there's no timing bezels, or there's no timing bezel. Many of the Presages, right?
No.
Come on, StreamYard. I click on you. Yeah. Young XLNC. Seikos are unbelievable when you get a good one, but a massive disappointment when you get bad. That's perfectly worded. They're unbelievable when you get a good one.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a massive disappointment when you get a bad one.
It's almost worse because the Marine Master 200 I had a Steel Master. It was so insanely good that the messed up bezel, it wasn't even misaligned. It was just messed up, printed messed up,
Yeah.
and that hurt that much more. Because it was such a beautiful, amazing watch. Movement ran great. Everything was just right except the bezel, and that bezel amplified like it just hurt. It just hurt a lot, and I couldn't keep
Yeah.
it.
I hear you, man. Hey, Lucien. Thanks for joining us. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Mr. LTE. Hey, everyone. How are you, buddy? Oh, come on. Where are you? Damn it. Can't believe the Seikos still have press class, to be honest. Yeah, yeah, for sure. But I mean, like a lot of other luxury models, watches, much more expensive than your affordable Seiko divers. Have used press class, or still do? Rolex, right? Until last like decade, right? They had press clasps. Doesn't make it right, but yeah, I hear you. Seiko make fantastic watches, and I love them. But one of the best things about watches, or at least the best things for me, are the small details, and a misalignment is careless. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Pete has had some good comments. I don't
I'm
know if
sorry.
you've seen Pete, not so obvious watches. He has had some
Maybe
really
I'm
good
maybe I'm
comments.
maybe I'm still catching up.
Yeah,
Wei saying, I remember when I was a kid in Japan. Japan was the byword for cheap crap. The way China is now, there's nothing inevitable about Japanese quality. Okay, I guess I must be wrong. Expectations increase along with the MSRP watch. I agree. Sushi, just insane. Sushi Parm, come on there. I mean, look, if it's uh, no, 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 I'm sorry. I was
Salmon
trying
Pan.
to think of a I was trying to think of a something that I could do. I mean, panko shrimp, maybe as a par, maybe I could do like a Japanese Italian. That's a
Tempura.
possibility. What was that?
Tempura shrimp.
Tempura shrimp. Yeah, there you go. That's also, yeah, I could do that. I mean, I'd give it a try. I'd give it a try. Um, let me see. Let me hear it. Okay. Sanjay GS was created solely for people in the Swiss mindset. Hence, it does the whole accuracy alignment game. Seiko has totally different priorities.
Yeah, that's a really interesting take.
Yeah.
It was there was another one. He also mentioned that um, we just don't have the same values basically
Mm-hmm.
as a consumer and them as the manufacturer, which I think is a really interesting take as well. Because I mean, if I really wanted to let it slide, I could still really enjoy these watches, but um, I'm not so sure I want to let it slide.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, mental plane. Hey guys, man, if it was metal plane, that'd be so awesome. Listening to Slayer, 30,000 feet above. Oh, man, that's awesome. Bobby, I've been rewatching your U50 and BB58 videos. Don't know why just happened. Don't know why just happened. Okay. I'm not really sure. Mental plane.
Maybe it was on autoplay and they just started playing.
Ah.
It just happened.
uh, my blue BB58 bezel is misaligned, Bobby. Oh man, that's a bummer. I've heard that with some Tudor watches or and some BB58s, people saying that their misalignment bezel is slightly misaligned. Um, I know they have that domed or that box crystal, and that could play some tricks. I remember when I got my BB58, the blue, I thought it was misaligned, and then I looked for like 1,000 times, and I finally convinced myself that it wasn't.
Yeah.
Um, but it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. Both Seiko and Grand Seiko have huge domestic markets, so I don't think the comment about Swiss ethos makes sense. Okay, well, I mean, keep on bringing up these points, guys, because those are good. I mean, I never thought about um,
Culture.
culture in this argument. Thanks, Sanjay. I didn't get the word right out, but I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Okay. Let's go to the next one. That's a good conversation, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Mhm.
that. Watch Gringa. Why flexing is ruining the Watch collecting. And this is a fairly new channel. She's doing really well. She had this video the other day, and you know, I mean, she says a whole lot of things on this. But what really hit home with me is the obsession, right? I can relate now that my whole world has gotten smaller since I got into watches in a way. But look, there's external circumstances like pandemic and quarantine, right? So I'm not. For a long time, I wasn't exposed to a lot of other people, and so I dedicated myself to my family and to my channel, and then that brought in a whole community of people that I became friends with. So now all we do is talk about watches. And all I do pretty much when I go on Instagram, I have my personal account. I don't even bother with that anymore. I just go to my Bobby Legs ones and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm seeing what other people have and my friends and their watches that they're getting. And it seems like everybody is buying at a crazy pace and me included, and then it gives me this false sense of like trying to keep up with the Joneses in a way,
Hmm.
and it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's obsessive. I'm getting obsessive. That's why I'm trying to I'm going through this watch fast, or I brought this up, and I think I'm still trying to formulate why I'm doing it, right? And I think it's a lot has to do with some of the points that she came up with here. I seen some other her other videos. She seems pretty funny and loose and happy go lucky, but this one kind of like she really articulated very very well what I was feeling. And I really enjoyed this video. Sanjit, did you get a chance to take a look at this one?
Yes, I did. I've run into Watch Gringa before. I mentioned last night in my stream that she makes me a little anxious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can
Because
see. Yeah.
I, I get a little anxious around people who are slightly or really inebriated or intoxicated. So, so she set off that anxiety that I have. Um, so I haven't been able to really watch it. So I was kind of dreading watching this when you picked it. But she was, this wasn't a regular video or a videos
Hmm.
I've seen, and I really enjoyed this one. She brought up really good points, points that I didn't know existed even, but I can totally see now that she mentions them. like I guess I live under a rock and kind of in a bubble. Um, I don't really see the whole flexing going on. I don't consider, like, when you buy a watch or something, I never consider it to be a flex or something. Um, or even when Colin buys a watch, I don't consider it to be a flex.
But
I
I think she brought up the point of, like, did you see that picture of the guy with the 10 iced out Rolexes on a steering,
Yes,
of of his Maserati? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, that's a flex. Do people actually like?
See, the thing is, I don't see that.
Okay.
I've never seen that.
Hmm.
I know it exists. I just haven't been exposed to it. This would be one of my first exposures to it. That and maybe Timepiece Gentleman when I saw a couple of videos in the past. That was another, a lifestyle that I'm not into. um, and yeah, I mean, everyone I know doesn't want to flex, at least outwardly. The people I know, they actually kind of they're almost ashamed when they buy a new watch,
Hmm. Hmm.
because they feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting there because I know when I buy a new watch, I almost don't want to tell people about it because
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I guess like an alcoholic who's gone to the bar or something, right? But um, yeah, I I don't know how these guys, they live their lifestyle. It seems really exhausting,
Yeah.
to keep up like that, and I'm kind of satisfied where I am. Um, just if I felt a kind of a peace,
Yeah.
after seeing this video. But yeah, hard to articulate what I was feeling, but
Yeah. And Rishos, a good point here. It's hard to assess whether it's a flex or an engagement tactic. So look, I can't, when I pick up my Kadoki, or when I buy a Zin, I don't send a picture to most of my friends because most of my friends don't get it, right?
mhm,
So I'll put up a picture, I'll send it to you guys, and I'll put it on Instagram, and so I'm showing it off, and I guess that's not. I don't think that's a flex either.
mhm,
But there are some people out there in our watch community, whether it be on Facebook or Instagram or on YouTube, who is it's more like, look at me, this is what I have, and there is a sense that I definitely feel the flex. I'm not going to mention any names, but I mean,
yeah,
like, because that's not fair, because I'm not in their head. I don't really know, but it feels like that, man. You know what I mean? And so, but but where I'm getting at is, like, I'm constantly being on my social media. I'm being barraged by watches and people picking up watches, and so it gets me revved up. It gets me like, okay, I need to get more watches. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
That's what it does to me. I'm not
yeah,
saying that's what it does to you or anybody
yeah, yeah,
on the channel, but I mean, like, it's like it's not, it's like keeping up. It's not like keeping up with the Joneses, but it's just like, man, I got to get more and more, and it's like this, like, thing that I have been born with, right? That I
mhm,
just need more and more, and it's never enough. And that's a wholly different type of conversation than watch flexing. But that's what it gets me, and that's why, like, I gotta chill. You know what I mean? And I
right,
gotta, like, spend less time on Instagram and looking at people pictures of their new, iced out, or not even iced out, but even a picture of a new Rolex, because they're so unattainable
mhm,
for most of us. So that's where this kind of like video reminded me of, and I don't know if that's exactly what she was talking about or not, but
mm,
it just conjured up that feeling inside of me, and so I don't really watch much of her stuff, but I saw this title and I just really liked her take. She's not for
yeah,
everybody. She's and that's fine. But this is a good video because it's kind of it was a little bit unexpected from her, I feel,
right,
you
yeah,
know, and so it was kind of a departure of character, and
yeah,
um, and I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
agreed, yeah,
Um, let's see here. The guys from Two Broke Watch Snobs talk about the trouble separating watch enthusiasm from watch enthusiasm, wealth
hmm,
enthusiasm. Um, Flexing is not about the watch; it's about the person and or lifestyle. Right? Okay. Yeah. But I mean, like, the watch is front and center of that by that person. That's how the person shows off, it flexes. They show the watch.
Hmm.
Delete IG and social media, problem solved. Yeah, easier said than done, man. Adolf, AHL. It's easier said than done. Especially when I'm trying to, have a YouTube channel. And maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't do a YouTube channel. But I love you guys, man. Yeah,
That's why I do it.
yeah,
It's all the people, and I force myself to do Instagram. Like
yeah.
I really don't like it, but it helps
It's
me keep in touch with everyone, and
yeah. It's not that I don't. I find it I do find it like a little bit of a chore, right? It's
yes,
not like I don't like it, but I realize that there is a value, like it or not. Like I got people who want to see my pictures. I can't believe it. To this day, I just can't believe that people want to see pictures of my watches. I mean, I'm still baffled by that. I mean, I feel honored.
yeah,
So I feel like it's almost kind of like my responsibility to do that. And I'm not on Instagram every day taking pictures. I should be on there. Um, but uh, but yeah, I mean, like it's not just making videos and being part of the community. It's all the other stuff that comes with it. If
mhm,
if you want to have a successful YouTube channel, like I don't necessarily care if I have a successful YouTube channel, but I guess I do because there's part of me that's competitive that wants to you
yeah,
know you know put out content that people may or may not enjoy, or at least give people something to say about my fingers, at least, right? You know what I mean?
or your
Maybe
thumbnail,
what was that?
or your thumbnails.
Yeah, they're my thumbnails. At least maybe people don't have enough friends with rough hands, man
Yeah,
hands, So come see Bobby Legs videos. I don't know. Oh man.
been a long weekend.
It's been a long week. Goodness, I don't make a move in life without seeing what Bobby does first. Is Bobby the watch concierge? No, not by any means, man. I have a watch concierge. He's my friend Ryan.
Yeah, it's funny when I'm inside. You just make me say. You just say, "Do it."
Yeah. We just say do it. We just tell
Yeah.
him, yeah. Chris, you're saying lifestyle flexing is different. I've seen some account with amazing photography of Seikos and vintage watches. Again, it's curated, but it allows a person to live vicariously through the photos. I think there's a difference, though. I mean, there there is a difference between really tastefully done and great pictures of watches that you may never ever have a chance to own, whether you just not the opportunity never comes up, you don't have the financial wherewithal, or you do have the financial wherewithal, but you don't want to spend that kind of money on something because you have other priorities. That's different. There's people out there who just like are come look at me and my watch, you know. And I
Hmm.
think that's what she was talking about. And I think that's where unfortunately for me, I look at that too, and it gets me revved up, you know.
Yeah.
Certainly don't want a unsuccessful YouTube channel. No, no, you don't. Sanjay. Oh, come on, B Dev. There you go. Sanjay's flexing that gold goblet. Sure is. He sure is.
That's the most expensive barrel of Dr. Pepper I've had recently. So,
Barrel?
uh, whatever you wine guys talk about, from 1945 or something.
So that's a vintage
Yes, vintage Dr.
Dr.
Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did you smell the bouquet before
right.
you
Yes.
allow it to breathe before you poured it? Yeah, that's what they supposedly do. You're squishing it. You're gonna spit it out. Is Dr. Pepper your favorite drink?
I think so.
Have you ever
Well,
tried? Oh, God, I'm sorry.
chocolate milk and Dr. Pepper.
Chocolate. Okay. All right. Let's treat these separately.
Okay.
Have you ever had A&W root beer
Yes.
and you like Dr. Pepper more? Well, it's not really.
It's close.
It's
It's
Dr.
really
Pepper
close.
root beer. It's not
No,
really root. No, no, it's
no,
not.
different.
All right, my bad. Dr. Pepper's still an animal. Okay, forget about that.
When you mentioned Dr. Pepper, I like the second thing that came to my mind was the NW root beer. So it
Okay.
was really close. Yeah.
Um, chocolate milk. Okay, so you I mean, do you do YooHoo? Do you do like Nestle with the powder and you mix it?
Oh no.
No, no. You just buy it from the store straight up chocolate milk.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I went through a chocolate milk um phase where that's all I wanted to
yeah.
drink. I'll tell you one drink that gets me absolutely bananas, and I can just like I'll finish like a six pack of it like in one sitting is
Yeah.
black cherry soda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man,
Any,
I go ape shit over black cherry soda. Did you just freeze?
I did.
Okay.
I asked any specific brand?
Oh yeah. Oh man, it's been such a long time. Damn it.
Um,
There is. I just I forget. I
yeah,
forget.
Kevin mentioned Stewart's root beer.
Yeah,
Stewart's is so
Stewart's
good.
is good. Yeah, Stewart's is good.
Stewart's has black cherry soda too.
Yeah, yeah. It might be Stewart's.
Yeah.
Dr. Brown's. There it is. Kevin said it. Doctor, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say Dr. Bonner's, but they make soap. Um, so that's not it. But it's Dr. Brown's. That's what it is. But although I do like Stewart's too.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Boylan's. Yeah, Boylan's is
Oh,
good too, man.
yes.
So like, there's like so many of them that I like.
Hmm.
But yeah, yeah.
There's a ginger beer from the UK. I think it's called Fentimans. It
Okay.
sounds a lot like fentanyl, but
Right, right,
uh,
right.
but I had that at one of the steakhouses over here. They had imported it, and it was probably the best ginger beer I've ever had. And I have not been able to buy it back. So
Yeah, don't you hate that?
yeah,
Don't you hate that when you just find something that's so delicious
yeah,
and then it's gone?
yeah. I'm not going to go to the steakhouse every evening to go get a ginger beer.
Pete saying Suntory Boss iced coffee in a can. Brilliant. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that brand. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I'm not an iced
Mhm.
coffee kind of guy. It could be 100 degrees outside, and I'll drink hot coffee.
It could
Um,
be minus 100 degrees, and I'd still buy a nice coffee.
wow, we are so different.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why this works.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's why. Sanjay, what do you got going on this week? Do you have anything planned? Any videos coming out?
I hope to do a review on the. I still have a few Seikos that I want to review, the
Hmm.
34 mil Seikos. So I hope to do that at some point. I need to do a giveaway for the hats that I've been meaning
Yeah.
to give away.
Okay.
So I think I'll do the giveaway video first. So
Hmm.
I'll get that out this week. But other than that, I just released a video today on a microbrand, a Canadian microbrand. Um, first experience with a microbrand, kind of like from top to
Yeah,
bottom.
that's on the
So
queue for me. I'm gonna maybe tomorrow morning before the kids wake up.
yeah, yeah.
I'll definitely put
Thanks.
that on. Um,
But yeah, other than that, just a live stream next week
yeah.
and watch Soup next week.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get out a couple like an unboxing and a review out too as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then Sunday, Friday night watch chat and again watch Soup with you guys. Guys, thank you for checking us out tonight. Please go to Sanjay's YouTube channel if you haven't already, Engineer Wannabe, and follow him at engineer_wannabe on Instagram. Maybe he'll start posting more. Maybe he'll start flexing all his Grand Seikos, gangster, you
Yeah.
know, Grand Seiko. I don't know. I used to be able to do the bloods like really quick. I used to like I had that dexterity. I was like bloods, but
Yeah.
now I can't do it.
I
And
remember that.
I probably shouldn't do it anyway because
Mm.
even out here, somebody would probably see that, and then I'd be fronting, and then they'd have to
Get
come
stopped.
by and do a drive by, and then it's like that old chestnut. Anyway, guys, have a
Yeah.
good one. We'll see you next week on another episode of Sunday Watch Soup. I think we're going to have Chris Rover from the Watch Lounge. He's going to join us probably. So see you then, guys. Have a good night.
Good night, guys.